So, hey guys, welcome back to La Bóveda Podcast. And this podcast is our home. This is our house. This is the place where we go deep with people from the gaming industry on survival horror games, psychological horror games, and anything in between. And today we have something very special here because I am accompanied by Sophie. And Sophie was one of the first persons who actually contacted me when I started creating this and expanding La Bóveda, like to reach out to game devs and people from the gaming industry. She introduced me to her community, which helped out a ton, and I met a bunch of the first game developers that I met there. And for that, I will be eternally grateful. Thank you, Sophie, and thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me. Really glad to be here.
It's been a while. I think we met like this is gonna be like a year and a half or maybe 2 years already.
Yes,
So
yes.
so I want to just have a little chat about what inspired you to become a horror content creator.
All right. I've been really into horror for a long time now. Yeah, I started with movies and then with games, and then by the time that I was working, because I also work as a social media manager, and I do kind of like marketing for other indie games as well. I figured, maybe why don't I also make my own content if I'm making content for other people as well? So, and then yeah, that's how it all started. And then I think my passion really is just to keep supporting indie horror devs as much as I can.
And it's very special. I don't know, maybe you get this or maybe you haven't, but when the community that you built on your especially on your Discord, it's very special because you have the game devs in there, you have voice actors in there, you have fans, you have other streamers, and every single one of them they have like a spot to share what they're doing, and it feels like people just connect there, and that's my based on my experience. So I think as you describe yourself as fueled by waffles, which is super interesting. And as a you consider yourself a woman in games ambassador.
Yes.
What does that role mean to you personally and professionally?
Mm. So I became an ambassador like just a few months ago,
Okay.
roughly like around April. And then with me for that is because I wanted to keep helping more, like reach out to more devs and other people in the industry as much as I can, gain all these connections to even help out the other devs in the community to reach other places. So there are sometimes like I get information about like a game jam or like other competitions that I feel like the streamers or maybe even the devs would be interested to join.
You work closely with many indie developers from what I've seen, and I just wanted to ask what draws you to the indie scene compared to AAA titles.
Mm. Well, technically, like I got more exposed to the indie scene when I started working for the company where I'm working at the moment, and it was really interesting because uh, I didn't expect to love a lot of indie games during that time, and then the more that I started discovering more games, like more horror,
Yep.
everything feels deeper. Like
Hmm.
like you could see the amount of like effort and of people creating these games, whether they're a solo developer or like a small studio. They're able to like reach people who actually love these genres, and they are creating like like they're being inspired by AAA games as well. So it was really nice to see these people who are following their their passion
Yeah.
and their love for all things gaming.
I think indie developers, like I was talking with a friend of mine in the other podcast that we do in Lautopsia, and we were talking about how indie developers they have like this it's like a little bit of more freedom because they can decide what they're gonna do with their game, and they don't have like a team on top of them telling them like, no, we can't do this, we need to do this just because this sells better or whatever. And it feels like this work like driven by passion maybe to a specific genre. I can talk about survival horror because that's my thing. um the survival horror genre has been carried away, with indie developers or by them for a long time now. And actually, I have one of the one of the categories for the website for the survivalhorror.com. I released like the top 10 list, which is basically, people are going there and voting, and whoever ends up in the position number one, it's gonna be like the game of the year for the website. And then I included other extra questions in there just to base psychological horror game and things like that. But I did notice when I was assembling the list that there were only two AAA games in that list. The rest of them, they're all indie games. And I can't say right now because it's like we have until the 30th to close it. But right now, one indie game is winning by 60%. And there's like over 400 people that have voted already. So I think it's, it switches. And I can't think when you mention survival horror, of course you think about Resident Evil because it's like that's like the main thing, right? They define the genre, or even Silent Hill, who introduced psychological horror. But I cannot like Alisa, Crowd Country, Signalis, and then you can go on this amazing list of games that are indie games that are just awesome. So I think maybe most of the people, and because I include myself until like 2017 that I started actually approaching indie games, they don't realize about the challenges the indie devs face when promoting their games. So, what would you say that it's one of those challenges that you've seen, like, by helping them or working close with them, and how do you help them overcome that?
Interesting. I mean, I have noticed like different things of how like some of the game how games work. Like I think like in terms of marketing, like I would get questions like why this isn't working for them. Like this specific strategy isn't working for them, but it's working for others. And then I look at the game, and then some of them are like an acquired taste for other people. So it's not really for everyone. But there's a always a way to grab people's attention by it, and get them curious about what's different or what's unique about your game. That's something that you just have to figure out and like reel people in, because it's not easy to just put your game out there and expect people to love it. You
Yeah.
have to get feedback. You have to get feedback from their streamers, from playtesters. That's how you're going to have to work on it. And the
Yeah.
more you listen to these feedbacks, the more that you're community driven in terms of your game, the more people will love it.
And it's so good what you're doing, and because it's one of the things that it happened to me recently is like I was expecting. I talk with this guy like most every single day. Maybe that's exaggerating, but maybe like 3 times a week, more or less. I don't know, but we keep the communication going back and forth. And it's one of the first people that I interview to, right? And he's working on something. And then the other day I went on social media and I saw a content creator saying like, "Oh, we just finished the playtesting for this game," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, I thought I wasn't there. I didn't get anything." So I contacted him. It was like we were talking yesterday, and I'm like, "Hey, let me know when the playtest start." And he's like, "Well, do you sign up for it?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Oh my god, how could I miss that?" And I'm like, "Me too." And I'm like, "Oh my," but anyway, I can send you like an early demo for you to try out and give me your insights. But the playtest already ended, and you need to go to this website and enlist yourself there. And I was like, you know what? This is now I get why Sophie does what she does, and there's like other people doing it too, because they're doing so much that sometimes they forget like important stuff like that. And it's super good to have somebody like having your back. And I think that's why I started this too, because I noticed that there's a lot of people like sharing stuff, but there's a huge difference of on sharing something or reposting something saying, hey, play this, that actually sitting down with the person that's working on the game and having them expose their art, and letting us know what they're doing. So I started doing this out of just, it was going to be just one, because I like, my goal was to interview Casper Crows on Alisa, because I loved the game, and I contacted Casper, and he was like super, he was one of the nicest guys I've met since I started doing this. And actually, we were talking last night, and he was like, yeah, of course, let's do it. So I did that one. And after I finished that one, then another person reached out, and then another person reached out. And when I was around the fifth interview, then Sophie came in, invited me to the Discord, and I saw everything. I was like, okay, I think I know what this is going. So I started that, and now we have the website, which is the most ambitious stuff that I've done since I started. And it's been like maybe around the time that we met that I already started like, getting playing with the idea of of making like a La Bóveda, the vault, and making on game archives. And so I went over the internet and I saw that there was like a lot of places doing different things. They were doing like cover arts, just cover arts, just a list of games, just links to wish list and whatnot. But there was not actually like somebody doing articles for each game. And I thought, okay, I think I can do that because of the, I can hyper focus on stuff. And I started, and I'm not gonna lie, when I started, I was like, this is, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. Like I start reaching around 2016, and you start getting like 20 something games every year, and the articles, they're like,
Mm.
they have like 5 different sections that you need to research for it. And it wasn't that hard because I would say that I've played like 95% of the library that it's in there. And the others, I when I found one that I haven't played this, so I would just play it. And I think my autism gives me that power to finish games in 2 days or 3 days. And it was so good. It was a very refreshing experience too, because I went through the whole history of survival horror and then built up the website. So what I'm trying to get by giving you that summary is like, I know you're busy because I see it every day on your community. Plus you have your own job, and I was just curious, how do you balance supporting so many indie devs while also creating content and managing communities and working?
Oh my gosh. Even I don't know how to answer
Yeah, that
no.
that
No. Okay. How do I like? I think I want to start like how I started all these things as well. And it's also funny because I realized just a few days ago that my server's about to hit its first year
yeah,
this month, and I'm thinking, okay, it's it's been so long already. It's been already a year, and I didn't even notice it that much. That I see a lot of people here, and I didn't expect the community that I built would have helped a lot of people
yeah,
as well. Like, I remember, like in a podcast before, that I got a shout out because of the community.
yeah.
I see all these devs reaching out, like wanting me to do a giveaway so I can help them, and then uh, and it's really interesting because I started it. I started first. It's just I think I saw the game Tenebra Insomnia.
Oh
This
yeah,
was the first game that I saw. It was amazing, and then I figured, okay, I want to make like those shorts, like 1 minute, 2 minute clips, to talk about the game, and so I started doing that over on TikTok. Actually, I think, um, and then I discovered more games along the way, and then I figured that maybe I should like reach out to more devs because I want to make videos or content for them for free.
yeah,
And so I did, while I was also trying to grow my Discord and also my pages at the same time. So everything that I've been like doing for all the devs like has been purely just out of like my love for the games, because
Yeah.
I really want to support them as much as I can. So I really don't ask for anything in return. Probably
Yeah.
just a key maybe for a giveaway, but that's about it.
That's what I've been doing too. Like when I interview, I've been in constant like contact with Moonglint for a while from Echoes of the Living, and you know I bought the game, and because I really want to support like the game devs. I did the same
Yeah.
for Flesh Made Fear and the Lacerator. Like they provided some keys for giveaways and for us to try, but I also bought a couple of them to give for free during my streams. And because it's one of the things, it's like even if you're doing this for free and you're helping out and they're being like the, generous enough to provide you with a free copy of the work that you've been following for, I don't know, 3 years or so, or 4 years. In the Echoes of the Living, it's been in development for 8. So it's it's something special, and the fact that you can help them, and it doesn't matter how small the help is. Like I
Mhm.
always tell when I'm talking to them, offline, we're not recording, or I'm talking with them just texting. There's no small help. Help is help, and people notice.
That's true.
People end up knowing the game, and
Yes.
and I think it goes both ways. And most of the content creators don't realize this, but people discovering the game, they can also discover your content. So it's not like because and I'm saying that because I met this guy that he wanted to do interviews and he wanted to do articles, but he was charging developers for it, asking for money. And I told him like I think that's not the way, because if you're gonna do the interview and people are gonna come and watch your channel too, there's no need for that. I mean, most of the stuff that I do is not even monetized. I just do it
Mhm.
because I like it. I monetize my channel, I monetize my streams, that I do, but the rest is just like open. And it's crazy. One of them actually gave me I think it was Casper last night. He's like, "This is crazy. You just send me a collaboration link, and I can even see the stats on the game." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "Usually people just send it and they're just like blind. It's just to have it there." And I was like, "I don't care, bro. Like, you can see everything. I don't. It's part of what we're doing." So
Exactly.
I I want to talk about your impact, because now that we're talking about the community and content creation, you host a lot of tons of giveaways and community events. And I know you already mentioned that you love doing this for free and everything, but what motivates you to keep giving back?
Mm. Okay. Um, well, the thing is that I think it's always been inside me to have this, to be really helpful, be really charitable, I suppose, word. Um, and I think like there was a time where I was thinking like, is I wanted to do more, not for just for myself, but for others. But how and in which field, in which industry can I do that? Then when I realized that I could do it here, like in gaming, I figured, okay, well that's perfect because it's in my passion as well. So, and then it just warms my heart that I'm able to help some of the devs like to reach out as much as they can with their games, even if just a little, like you said, even a little help goes a long way, right?
Yeah.
So that's so important. Uh, it's just and then when I see the progress in their game, like when they share like all
Oh
these
yeah.
updates, like, oh, I finished this game, I'm also gonna make another one, or I see all these reviews on their Steam, and then their their motivation as well motivates me at the
Oh
same
yeah.
time.
And I
So it
can
was really nice to see that.
I can relate because this batch of games that came out since I would say July to now. It pertains to the time that I started, right? So
Mm.
I've seen games come out, and I can, I've been talking with them during, I don't know, maybe previews the release, the week previous to that, and they can't answer, and they're like, sorry, I'm so busy, whatever. But then when it comes out, and you see the reaction of the people, and I ask him, hey, dude, how's it going? And he's like, man, I haven't even looked at the numbers, but this is crazy. Look at the comments, and you see their happiness, and you, especially me, I don't contact somebody that I don't like what they're doing, because I feel like it's gonna be counterproductive. Like I'm gonna go in there just to cover a game. I'm not gonna do it. It needs to be something that I like, because I am very organic and super down to earth with the community, and I can fake stuff so people would notice when I don't like a game, and they have noticed before. So seeing them like releasing the game and not one of them crashed. All of these games are like just like
Wow.
exploding everywhere. I'm super, super, super happy about them, and the way that they have managed, and that established relationship, it remains there. So when they're already talking to you about, hey, I'm doing this other project already. Like
Yeah.
they just started, and it's like giving you updates and sending you screenshots about what they're doing. That's amazing. It's so good. So I can I
It's
can I can relate a
the
lot.
satisfying
Yeah.
feeling of
Yep.
like knowing you were able to, that you're lend a hand for these games or these developers, that you're
Yep.
able to support them. It's like, you're proud to see all the progress,
Yep.
and especially now that I feel like indie games have been skyrocketing
Oh yeah.
lately in terms of popularity.
I think the indie game industry, well, people that used to be like, okay, let's do a AAA game and whatnot, they realize that they can be as successful with small games and not having to, all these weird, like huge budgets just to create a game that it's so bad, according to the community, that they can't consume it, and then it crashes and whatever. And then you have these people, like most of the stories of developers or solo devs that I've interviewed started with, I was working at this company and now I'm working for myself. And they found a lot of success in that. But there's a lot of sacrifice that comes with that. Most of them, they just quitted their jobs and make loans and stuff like that just to finish the game, hoping that the game is gonna, and that requires a lot of courage. It's not something
Exactly.
you like, do from one day to the other. I think like I respect them because they're just doing what they love and what they want. And
Mhm.
and that for me is super something that I would, for me would be like a very, very difficult position. And I think that's why I found the time, and if I can find it, I'll make it, to have that balance between my family, because I have two kids, and making this, going to work, and then doing everything that we're doing. It's important for me. And then I'm drawing my kid into this too. My kid wants to be a game dev, and he already started the journey. He's learning coding and doing stuff. So at the same time, we're building something that maybe could benefit him in the long run.
Yes, that would be amazing.
So I think, let me see, what direction do you think that indie horror is gonna be in the next years? How do you see this? Because this is right now, we believe this is peak, but I think it's going to get better.
Yes. Yeah, I do believe that it's gonna get better. And it's not just in like the horror side of things, it's other indie games as well. Like you see what's one example? I guess you see Peak, like
Yeah.
for multiplayer games, you see Peak. Then uh it's one of these games that have really impacted a lot of gamers
Mhm.
recently, and it's so good to see that they're able to keep up with AAA games releasing new
Mhm.
games often, right? But all these things that I feel like you said, it's gonna be bigger. I feel like this year, last year was just the beginning. this is
Yeah.
gonna be bigger because a lot of developers have been doing a lot of effort lately and in creating these very unique games, like the ones in your podcast,
Yeah.
like I said, Flesh Made Fear
Oh,
was there, and one of the games that I played as well, like No, I'm Not Human, is also really
oh,
good,
so good. Yeah.
and the Broken Lore games
Mhm.
are amazing. Like they started with Unfollow, I think probably a few years back, and now they're in their fifth or sixth game, I think. But
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Seraphine is gold. Yep.
Yes.
That's peak. I You know which one I was super looking forward and it didn't let me down like one bit. I enjoy every single like I can't even it was Heartworm. That
Mm.
game, look at like all my hairs like that game is just like the message behind it, the music, the soundtrack. It's amazing. And then I thought to myself, there's no way that nothing is going to be compared to this for the rest of the year. Because this is like, you know that game when you play it and you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely one of the best games of this year.
Yep.
And then Chronos came out, and it's a AAA game, but it was so good. And then Silent Hill F was super controversial, but I enjoy the hell out of it. And then we got The Lacerator, and then we got Flesh Made Fear, and Echoes of the Living, and the list goes on and on and on, and you was like, well, how am I gonna play all this? And then all of a sudden, right at around August, I started discovering all these games that I missed when I was doing my list, and I was trying to keep up playing with them. Some of them haven't come out yet, like Greek Tragedy that I just played it and finished it. The game's super good. I just had one of the developers in the podcast. That was actually the podcast previous to this one. And there's such nice dudes too. And there's a lot of effort put into it when you speak with them. You know which game I'm so looking forward to? I have a couple in my mind, like Alisa the Partin. I'm like super stoked about what Casper's gonna do with that one next. I have Descendant of Night from Project Gaiden, and one that has my heart, Crofts Productions with Heavy Metal Death Can. That's yeah. I released it. They gave me the exclusive like pre-alpha access, and I released the gameplay out. And that game is gonna be something else. When I was playing it, it gave me a lot of like '90s, early 2000s feel. So it has that charm of the classic survival horror games.
Mhm.
So,
I
Sophie,
feel like having that nostalgia
yeah,
with the other games that we're getting, like you see, like you said, the classic survival horror games, right? There are like a bunch of games that came out with that style,
Mhm.
with PS2 styles, retro styles. It's so very nostalgic, and
Yep.
I feel like people are loving that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see because we all know how this works. How long we can keep that going without
Mm.
saturating the aesthetic and people seeing, oh, this is just it. Because I was just talking with the community last night on the Discord, and I was like, we're this close of the people that complain all the time on the internet to start saying, oh, another PS2 aesthetic game, and complaining, which is not a bad thing. I would know, guys, keep them coming because I love them. But
Yes.
you know how the internet behaves and how people like get tired about stuff, and that's when games that do stuff differently come in, like the Lacerator this year with the laceration mechanics, which was super crazy. Like props to Fernando for that, because I wasn't expecting that. And I think last year, Sorry We're Closed, that I showed you the physical copy before we started recording, when you're gonna shoot, it goes to like first person, and you need to pick out specifically the cores that you're shooting, and so it goes from survival horror perspective and tank controls to first, and they're doing a bunch of stuff like this, which it's refreshing. So my I don't know, maybe my advice to people that may be watching this, or if you're like a person that are getting recently to indie games, don't judge a book by its cover. Just go in there, watch the trailer. If you see something that you like, try it, because I promise you it's gonna be worth it. From your
Don't even watch the
yeah, don't
Just
even
play it.
play it. From your professional standpoint, and this is just I don't know if this is like it just came up with this question, but what do you think might be a mistake that either horror content creators or maybe a small studio make on social media? I have a couple, but that's more based on opinion, I guess.
Right. Like a mistake. So hard to figure out. I feel like for me, it's probably a mistake I've seen lately. Or I don't know if it's even a mistake, or is it just people's tastes are evolving. I
Yeah.
think it's a quality of like content you're putting there, like even like video, a screenshot, a GIF. That like I see people posting like videos of their games where nothing's happening. Like there's nothing really that would
Yeah.
really hook you into it. So that's one thing that I've noticed before. But then, sometimes it works with other games
Yeah.
because the difference is the atmosphere or the environment that you're seeing there. Like if you,
Yeah.
one post could be just a character walking in like a factory, for example, and then the second post is also another character walking in a factory, but then the environment is different. So I feel like it's just the parts where, what do you think would really reel people into like trying out the game or checking out your content is something that you need to consider,
Yeah.
because in like, I guess in social media now, it's not easy to just get yourself discovered by people out there. So you really have to put on the work on what you're putting out to people, to show them what exactly your content is about, what your game is, who you are, in terms as a content creator and stuff.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I would say that my take, it depends on the situation, but I've seen a lot of people a lot of people that's paying attention to the negative comments that people leave.
Uh, right.
And I don't think it's a mistake answering. I think it's a mistake letting that get into your head. Um
Mhm.
and I've talked about this with a lot of devs. Um and my take on it is, and they have said it to me too. They have said it to me too, like, hey Joe, I think don't listen to the noise, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job,
Yeah.
whatever. And I try to give that back. So when I see a game dev that we're talking and he's been showing me stuff, behind the curtain, and we can't share this stuff. So for us, we're a tomb at that moment. We can't speak or show people anything. And all of a sudden somebody leaves like, oh, this is another, comments that I've seen. This is another Alan Wake ripoff. This is another Silent Hill ripoff.
Yeah.
Um, and I just instantaneously go and private message them like, hey, I just saw this, but, don't get discouraged. People that don't know the genre like we do, they don't understand what influences are, and your game being influenced and you keeping that nostalgia and keeping the genre alive. It's not the same as copying something one to one. It's different. And
Mhm.
just, you're doing an amazing job. I've seen you grow, whatever. I sent them this paragraph, motivated them, and some of them even respond at
Yeah.
times like, hey man, thank you, really needed to hear that, because I was just here, drinking my cup of coffee, looking at the monitor, like trying to get back into game dev because I really didn't want, because of this particular comment, which is, it's sadly, it's not only on game development, like kids in schools and you at the workplace. There's always something that keeps you down, but I think the most important part is getting back to it and don't forget why you're doing it.
Exactly.
So
I've seen like some of the games I work with, since I work as social media manager for them, right? So I see a bunch of comments
yeah,
sometimes on some posts, like they would say, yeah, like you said, oh, this is a Silent Hill ripoff and
yeah,
all that. So I see like a lot of negative comments here and there. So sometimes we would have to relay those feedbacks to the devs, because they would also see the comments themselves, but it's also, it's like I admire their passion in them, because even though they hear all these feedbacks, like they just keep
Yep.
going.
Yep.
They just keep going and then keep proving everyone wrong.
Hey, I've met some of them that they take these comments and
Mm,
they just like, okay, let me see what I did wrong for that person to
yeah,
write that comment. And they just go to their game and say, I don't think this mechanic would work. Let me change this. I think that's genius. It's super
yeah,
genius just
yeah.
to receive feedback like that, even when, through criticism. And I think that's like a thing that everybody should embrace. I've done it myself. Um, when I started, the most common comment on my videos were like, "Where is this fat guy coming from?
Oh,
Who do he think he is? Why all of a sudden he knows everything?" It's like I just needed, my mom gave birth to me yesterday. Um, and at first I was like feeling down and whatnot, and then I started saying like, yeah, I'm fat, I eat a lot of pizza, dude, like responding like comments like, just embrace your stuff. And then I start losing weight and people are like, oh, you look sick, and I'm like, man, you guys are not, yeah, like there's no like 50-50 with you guys. It's like you always have to go in there and talk smack about people. And then I realized, well, if you're a content creator and you're gonna put yourself out there, and I do this thing that drives what I do, which is hashtag El Gaming Salva Vidas, which translates to Gaming Saves Lives. It's a movement that I started like 3 years ago, and it fuels everything in La Bóveda. The streams are, that's why I do giveaways, because I discovered through research that there's a lot of neurodivergent people that includes ADHD, autism, um, you know, um, all the disorders that fall under that category were the people that are more prone to commit suicide. And I lost, after Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, I lost like 7 friends on the same year due to suicide. So I was kind of feeling down. I was going through a depression because I moved to the States and I didn't have any of my friends here. And I used to sing in a hardcore band. And it just was just me and my family here, and it was hard. So gaming saved my life during that time because I discovered Discord during that time, and it was me and my friends, like we were in a room playing, right? And one of them was the one who encouraged me. It's like, Joe, every time you're playing Resident Evil on your PlayStation 1, because that's all I did on Fridays, you know the lore of this game in Silent Hill like the back of your hand. And you know the hallmarks and you know all this stuff. So why don't you do content based on that? So I started creating that with the idea of, if I'm gonna attract these neurodivergent people here, I might just start like a campaign against suicide and against, mental health, just to make people aware. And it's been a ride. This is super special. And then other things happening like what I'm doing right now. And I am so, so grateful. I think,
that's amazing.
yeah,
I'm really happy that you mentioned that because I've also been diagnosed with clinical depression
yeah,
like a year ago, and that was like my first diagnosis ever in what I've experienced for probably like 7 years or something, because mental health stuff has been pretty taboo
yeah.
lately, especially in our country. So knowing that there are people like you who create these spaces, it's really amazing.
Yeah, it's the I got this it is interesting that we ended up talking about this, because I'm gonna mention something that I just talked about it in the last episode of La Autopsia, because they were like we were doing a recap of how I started and whatnot. And then another guy who happens to be a good friend of mine, he does content in Spanish, and he's just teaching and educating people about neurodivergence, ADHD, autism, and all that. And he goes live on TikTok just talking, interviewing people, and he invited me to the show. So I went there, and we're talking about like how El Gaming Salva Vida started. And I let him know, like, when I thought this was going nowhere, somebody new, it was from Latin America, came in and he started talking in the chat. And all of a sudden he says, guys, it's been super good seeing people playing Resident Evil 2 in 2022. And For me, it was a very grateful experience. But the cadence of his words, it was so well written that it sounded like a farewell. Like, and then he said, "Because I enjoy the last minutes of my life because I'm disconnecting right now and I'm taking my life away." And I'm like, what? So we started like, no, no, wait. So I stopped the stream, changed to my big camera, and the person was not responding. Everybody was like, commenting, and then all of a sudden he commented back, and we invited him to the Discord. He dropped in the Discord, and just every single one of the guys, which I'm grateful for, they didn't let this guy go like for 3 hours straight. And today he's still one of the followers. He's still in the channel. And he says it. He's like, there was something about that moment that I connected through what you were doing, and your community made me feel so special at that time that I started thinking maybe I shouldn't do what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. And it slowly, we slowly turned that into him getting help, and he went to therapy, and now he has a kid. So it's like, you see all these things, and then I'm like, I can stop doing this. So now I have an extra pressure. It's like, now I know that it doesn't matter if there's 10 people, 20 people. Hey, I have streams that I have 6 people watching. I'm going to do it like there's like thousands watching, because I know that I'm providing something, and there's people out there that are expecting me to hit that like button and go. So for me, it is a big deal. Like, everybody's saying like, what if you're doing these interviews, you're playtesting, now I'm soon gonna break out in a new role in what I'm doing, but you have the website and all this, just stay on the journalism side, and maybe help people stop streaming because it's taking away time. And I'm like, no, I can't. So, Sophie,
Or you have provided such a beautiful space already for people, and like, you want to be there for
yeah,
everybody for as much as you can.
talking about achievements, I just received a message that Nidra won Best Action
Mm.
Adventure Game at the Fear Fest.
Oh, so cool. That is
That's
so cool.
that's so good for David.
Really,
Congratulations, David.
yeah, congratulations. I
There,
remember doing the giveaway as well for them. That's amazing.
yeah, it's yeah, he's also running on the survivalhorror.com for best narrative and character development. So that's good. So I think we're very close to getting to the final stretch, but I would just ask, is there any creators, studios, or upcoming projects you're particularly excited about?
Okay. I've always been excited about what the reason why sorry, my internet.
Yep.
Okay. The main one that I've been really looking forward to since the time I started creating content was Tenebrosomnia,
That's awesome.
and that was amazing. When I saw that they incorporated real life,
Oh yeah.
like real scenes and everything, and then it has these 2D, this retro 2D style gameplay as well. It's like, God, that's such a genius way to do that.
Yeah. I tried I
And
I tried to reach them, but they're so busy doing the movie scenes. What's
yeah,
the other one?
and one thing is probably, I'm gonna stretch this out. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Tormentor.
Oh, Tormentor. Yep.
Tormentor.
Tormentor looks
Tormentor.
gory and good. It's very,
I
very.
think I'm excited about that as well, to see Shawnee Smith there. Shawnee Smith is voicing one of the characters. She's Amanda Young. Amanda
Yeah.
Young from Saw. She's really great, and I know the game receives like different feedbacks here and there. You see negative feedback coming from people saying that, oh, why is this like that? Why? What is this torture? And like working with them though, like it's pretty not actually. It's not. There's something there. There's something deeper there. Expected initially, because when people heard about it first, they thought that it's going to be very controversial, but
But it,
no, there's something deeper. that people should look forward to.
See, that's I saw it, and I've been reading the comments about the people too, and it's funny because it's like, you guys haven't even played the game. What you guys are talking about? So this is questions are fun for your persona. Like, if you have to choose between waffles or a lifetime of free horror games.
Damn, I feel like not having waffles is gonna be the most horrific thing that would ever happen in my life. No.
Waffles are so great. I can eat waffles for lunch. Like waffles,
That's true.
one of my favorite plates ever is fried chicken tenders with waffles.
Oh my gosh, yes, fried chicken
Yeah,
with waffles.
that's like I'm Puerto Rican. Everything fried is good with me. So, do you have any horror protagonists that are you spiritually aligned with?
Antagonist. Oh, yeah, I have not figured that out one yet, actually. But I do love Lady D, from Resident Evil.
Oh. I have obsession with Lady D. I'm just looking at. I have a statue of her there. Yeah, it's not. You can't see it here, but let me see. There she is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Great.
I love the whole. The character design is crazy on Village. It's not the best survival horror game ever, but the story behind it, I mean, the whole Resident Evil lore is just the way that they have intertwined everything. It's just super interesting.
Mhm.
So,
especially with Requiem coming out soon.
Oh yeah. I was talking shit about that the other day when they announced it. Obviously, I'm not gonna pre-order until we get a collector's edition announced or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I found myself running to the store to pre-order the deluxe edition because I fell in love with the steelbook. So I was like, it's been a year, and then they announced one of my favorite games ever, which is Fatal Frame 2: Crimson Butterfly. That one got me super pumped for next year. So we're having Silent Hill Remake, Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly, which I don't think we're getting Silent Hill Remake next year because he just started development, but you'll never know with Bloober Team. Those guys, they're a workhorse. And I don't know what else. We're getting so much. It's so fun. One of the things that I mentioned to my friend last night is we had now the 3 biggest games from our time had their remakes reintroduced. You have Resident Evil 2, Silent Hill 2, and Fatal Frame 2. So it's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time to be alive. And for me, it's super special because my kid now, he's 13 and he's getting into like survival horror too, and he's starting creating games and whatnot. So he gets to experience the same story from a different perspective. And at the same time, he plays with me the original game. So for new generations to be able to go through that and see how the history has evolved in gaming, that's special.
Yes. That is great.
I think one of the last questions before we go to the quick fire ones is like, what's the strangest or funniest thing that happened during one of your community events or giveaways?
Oh, okay. There's this one that is still currently happening, actually. So there's one of the giveaways that I did. There was this game who I think they promised us. I don't know if they or probably the person that was communicating with at that time. They promised to give us like a poster of their game, and that they would be mailing it to us from the giveaway. So the giveaway ended. Winners were selected. I got their addresses, all their contact info, and that happened around August. And until now, we have no information about the posters.
I have
And I've been reaching out for so many months, and I get nothing. I see that they're active on socials, but they're not responding to it. I
I
reached out
hate
on
that.
Discord. So nothing.
I hate that. I went through that. I went through this contest. We won. We were on a video. We never received anything, and now somebody's blaming the publisher. The publisher's blaming the other one, and they're playing ping pong with it. And that's not the way. It's weird because you leave your fans with a bad taste, and that's not good. So let me pick up your brains right now. Which game do you say it would be the best survival horror game of all time?
All time, all time.
Yeah, all time is just that phrase that I don't like, but
I want to say it's Silent Hill, but also there's Fatal Frame, like you said. That's Fatal Frame too. But oh my god, this.
yeah,
I'm leaning into Silent Hill.
Silent Hill is
always love Silent Hill.
that's a great choice. Favorite horror movie?
Oh, okay, horror movie. Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, that's right. For me, Rosemary's Baby is with Jacob's Ladder. It's in that category of great movies.
Okay.
Yep. And this is gonna
A
be
lot of people have not seen that yet, but that's for me. That's one of my favorites.
the whole aesthetic from Silent Hill. Well, not the whole, because I'm not gonna take the credit that they would. They build an entire thing out of it, but it's heavily influenced by Jacob's Ladder. Like the nurses and everything, it's in that the faceless nurses and the whole thing. It's on Jacob's Ladder. So I would say that this has been a very interesting conversation, and I am super grateful to have met you through this thing. And thank you for the opportunity of joining your community back in the day. Helped me a lot to start getting into the process of starting doing what I wanted to do. So I'm guessing the same way you helped me out, you help other people too. So thanks for what you're doing. And if there's anything else you want to say to the audience where they can follow you and whatnot, please provide me the links. I'll drop them down below so the guys make sure to follow you. And the microphone is yours. Anything you want to say?
Well, thank you. Well, for having me here. Like I said, that I never expected to, have this impact with other people. So I'm really happy to know that the space that I dedicated for them has been really helpful for devs, for streamers, for all the content out there. And I think one thing I want to share is that I'm doing a giveaway.
Yes.
I'm currently doing a giveaway, and it is my first big Halloween fall giveaway.
Yeah. It's just like it's a cross season.
Yeah, but I partnered with a couple of devs from my community. From the games includes like Clown is Hungry, Death by Misstep, Death by Misstep, Isle of Lael. What is that? Oh my gosh, there's like 6 games.
Yeah, I saw the list. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I love Lael, Office After Hours, Harrowed World, What's Past is Portents,
Okay.
and Haunted Months.
Awesome.
So there was like 6 games. Yep. And I'm giving away keys for these games, and also a couple of $100 Steam gift cards.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna drop the link to everything of that below the video. Thanks for watching. This was La Bóveda and Sophie. Thanks for being here and thanks for your time. Until the next time.
Thank you so much.